We know the Voltes 5 is going to win, which means Zool is going to get the shit beaten out of him. Couldn't happen to a worse guy, right? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we're back with another episode of Voltes 5. I really hope I said Voltes 5 last episode. Now I've got doubts in my head that I might have just said a different name while pointing to the Voltes 5 logo. Anyway, obviously people know what I meant because I watched the whole episode. We just got done with Dad being whisked away once again. And it very much seems like we're going to make a thing of this. It kind of feels like there's I think it was Gundam Seed Destiny that me and Lessons have talked about before. Nope, sorry, it's not Gundam Seed Destiny. It's OG Gundam, 1979 Gundam, where it felt like in the series, the plot rounded around itself 3 times before it finished a thing. Like, when it came to bombing the Gundam or attacking with explosives, we did it 3 times. And the plot got better every time, but it took us 3 times to make the plot really good. And it feels like sometimes Voltes 5 does that. Like, how many times did we do a father fake out before it was real dad time? So I guess that's what I'm kind of expecting now. That maybe we've done Real Dad once, and then we did Real Dad Got Away once. And sometimes there's a couple of episodes in between the final payoff. That maybe this episode's going to be one of those middle bias time episodes for us to figure out how to really get Professor Go back with the rest of the group. Assuming that they don't kill him. I can't write that off with this show. From episode, was it 2, where the mother dies, and then Hamaguchi died not too long ago. I can't write off that they won't kill anybody. I suspect that they're not going to kill off any members of the Voltes 5 team. That's probably like show Bible stuff. Don't kill off the Voltes 5 team members. Anyone around them, though. Like, any day now, Oka could die. New Professor could die. Professor Go could die. You know, I feel like they are possibly on the chopping block. They are possibly on the chopping block. I don't anticipate, like, Kenichi or Megumi or any of them, right? That said, though, I guess let's go ahead and hop on in and see what happens.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Because I don't think it would play, right? One, you can't kill Hiyoshi. He's a child. And on top of that, who would you replace him with? Taco? Taco going to take over? The same thing goes for everyone else. They spent a year training. I don't know. There's the part of me that suspects that Hamaguchi got replaced not because of the story, but because of the voice actor. The fact that in the Philippines dub, again, Hamaguchi and the new professor, Sakunji, are voiced by the same guy. But that Hamaguchi is then replaced by a guy who, to my recollection, does not voice anybody else in the show. That they were just replacing the voice actor. Kind of like in Babylon 5 when they needed to change the captain of the station. They just brought in somebody else because the other guy was having health issues and he could no longer fill the role. Yeah, I think it's longitude and latitude. But then again, how would Professor Go know where Heinel's base was? Unless it was in the saucers. Oh no, it's a log. I know log can also be a product of position, but I don't know where or how it enters in. Man, narrator really expects us to remember nothing. Not for nothing, though, you have hair and now blood samples. You could clone your dad if you wanted. Don't cry into it. We need the blood. Glad he called back. Just to make sure they weren't slow as possible. So it was a signal to contact somebody? Or does he have a transmitter on him that would locate him? Or is it's a transmission signal that the Waznians use? I appreciate it also. Shut up! And they just keep talking. No, please, use all the sci-fi noises you have. It's polka dots. At least Sakunji has turned into way less of an asshole than he was in that last episode. Sorry, episode 18? Episode 19. I can't remember which one I'm talking about. My brain just fried. Well, that explains why it healed so quickly in the next time on. Cool, Zul's a misogynist as well. Is the thing in the ocean gonna become this, or... Nope, legit. The cavalry guy. How the hell does that work? Like, legit, he turned a macro-sized amoeba into an even more macro-sized robot fighting beast machine? Which, by the way, isn't even a beast machine anymore, other than the fact that part of it looks like a horse. Sorry, what part of the amoeba is talking? So as you all know, I record these live, which means that I have a chat, and Phil Fisher is in the chat pointing out that Zul used the word Megutsin, Sly Vixen. Soon. Soon? Make it soon? I'm assuming he means in the position where we saw Zool use the word female, or useless female, that he said sly vixen instead. That is a completely different read than the subtitles. I still don't know how he turned an amoeba into the T-1000. Oh, I would have thought just eject the blade. There's also a massive size difference. I mean, look how big that weapon is when it comes down next to him. One of the spikes is the size of the cockpits. I mean, I anticipate that the Sword of Heaven is not going to work on this thing. It's going to cut into it and it's going to heal just the way we've seen so far. This really does feel like it is the ultimate weapon against the Voltes 5. Once you defeat the Sword of Heaven, you got free reign. You know, until they figure out what to do with you. And surprisingly, the size difference doesn't seem as extreme as it was a moment ago. An amoeba would not have thoughts. This is my problem. The conceit before is that they put the brains of animals into a machine, but this one's just fully formed out of an amoeba. Like, the theme to concept doesn't make any sense. I like that it's shooting out, like, horseshoes, but it's just an amoeba. Ooh, I like that. I like how they express the damage there is going right through one of the cockpits. That is an awesome shot. I hope future me remembers to use that in the thumbnail. That is amazing. I also anticipate the only way to destroy this thing is to throw it in a volcano or something. Because it seems like heat works against it until it can regenerate. So a constant application of heat. Never mind, I just realized that their stomach beam... Their stomach beam also fires heat. We've expressed that for a while as well. Again, how are you having a conversation? I'm not even bothered by the fact it's talking anymore. Like, how does it know so much? It was literally just born. Well, sorry. Did you shave him and change his clothes? I feel like his beard grew like a year's worth in one episode, and then you shaved him.
これはこれはハイネル閣下にはご機嫌麗しい。敵は無用。ズール、どこへ行っていた？さては気づかれたか。
You literally have a quarters here on this place, and you haven't been there.
ステージ上のアンテナに強力な磁場が感知されたの。調べてみると、ボルテス5と新しい重視が戦っていた。察するに、重視作りの仕事に嫌気がさして表舞台へ出たくなったのか。どうだ、違うか。
Oh yeah, Jangle has 3 horns.
しか知らないジャンギャル。どうやらわしの企みには気がついておらぬわ。それもよかろう。そんなに作戦が立てたければ、この旅の重視はお前に任せる。は？見事にボルテス5を撃って手柄を立てるがよい。は、はい。
Jangle has 3 horns. Even Prince Heidel only has 2.
それなりの覚悟はあろうな。
Well, it's a win-win.
惜しいがあの基地は手放す方があるまい。毎日にも入
We know the Voltes 5 is gonna win, which means Zool is gonna get the shit beaten out of him. Couldn't happen to a worse guy, right?
電波はまだかね。おお、長官直々のお出ましか。かなり焦っているようだな。当然だろう。ゴー博士奪回は至上命令だ。いくら唾を飛ばしても脈動波は切れたままだよ。
No, but being a smarter professor would.
ケンイチ君の言うように探すべきだったのでは。俺は反対だね。ボルテス5は1台しかない。お、5分だ。電波が来たのか。え、脈動波だ。お父さんの電波が。
I mean, thank God we're transmitting this to the entire base.
なぜです。ボルテス5の修理も完了しています。さあ、ゴンジュ君。敵の罠の可能性があるからだ。罠？ゴー君の電波が一時途絶えた。そして7時間後に再開された。発信機を見つけた敵がボルテスをおびき寄せるために同じ8号の電波を送り出したとしたら、確率論でいけば電波の発信者がゴー君である場合 50%。
I mean, it's a chance you gotta take, right?
50%行かせてください。たとえ罠の確率が 100% でも俺は行く。博士。 私の職務として罠の可能性が 1% でも
Since when? Fuck off.
そりゃ君、杓子定規じゃないのかね。杓子結構定規賛成だ。人類の運命を担うボルテスに軽はずみは許されん。失礼する。ああ、ザゴンジュ君どこへ。生理的要求だよ。断っておくが俺の大きい方は長いぞ。おい。
Is he gonna go himself? Is that the thing? Is this Professor Kanunji's last episode?
何をぼやぼやしてるんだ。今のうちだ。発信するんだ。お兄ちゃん。一平、めぐみ。催促しなくたって行くぜ。
School of this, Oka? Literally, they're disobeying orders. Something you slapped your daughter for not 10 episodes back or whatever.
行くか。俺に君らを止める権利はない。 ただ幸運を祈るのみだ。
Okay, maybe he's cooling down. Maybe I need to stop shitting on the new professor. So long as he doesn't do what he did those episodes ago. It's the same island, at least. Yeah, that sends off warning signs, doesn't it? The ocean is our enemy. Still, it's the same island, though. Could still be where Go is.
合体するぞ V トゥギャザー
Remember, I believe the record is 3 times in one episode. We're counting attempts as well. If they go into this animation 3 times, that's still the record for as many times as they try to vault in once. So if we get to an episode where they try to vault in 4 times a single episode, that'll be the new record holder. It's no longer special if they do it twice in one episode. But I guess that would denote the Bosnians having to have figured out super electromagnetism to create a credible threat where they'd have to do it more than 3 times. Again, I think it's going to come down to the flame belt thing that they've got. That or they're going to find a volcano. And again, it also doesn't really matter if the other Voltes members get knocked around in their cockpits, because Kenichi is the only one piloting. I mean, that's been proven true before. Merging beast machines are way better than single beast machines. And it's the T-1000, the beast machines. As little as this makes any sense at all, I still love that. Seeing them get threatened within the Voltes 5. I say, as little as this makes any sense, this is still my favorite beast machine. In fact, it's better than the T-1000 because it can make rocket fuel, apparently. Oh, and attacks through itself. That's amazing. How the fuck is Daijiro not dead? That's right where his cockpit should be. You'd think leaning into it would get Ippei killed. Ippei is kind of like exposed to the elements right now. I don't know if getting struck by lightning that goes through the whole machine is good for him. I'd argue that that shouldn't have worked, but literally nothing about this beast machine made any sense at all. Nope, nope, feels the pain. Feel the pain of the whip. It's whip pain. Yeah, of course, he already fucking hated you. He's not gonna blame anybody else but you. Also implying he was still at that base, and they didn't find the base. After. He had moved after that. Obviously, he didn't move him while he was getting whipped on a wall. But I mean, more so, they didn't investigate the island for any signs of a base that we know that Zool was at. So implying that they missed out on that opportunity as well for, I guess I blame the professor on that one, because the professor says it's obviously either a trap or him, and conceivably it was actually both. He was there, but it was also a trap. So in that respect, they lost their ability to find him there, and now he's been moved. And the element of the fact that he's been moved and they might have figured out the transmission signal would imply that they're not going to find him again by this means. But, I feel like Professor Go is being labeled as some sort of MacGyver type, where he'll find a way. Like, the dude self-meditated. And yeah, Bill Fisher says your throw into a volcano idea might have been better for that beast fighter. The whole concept was it was resistant to cuts. And even if you blew it apart, it's an amoeba. It should just form back together again. Okay, I want to point something out. When we saw him laying in Zool's pod, clean shaven. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the mic from there. Clean shaven. Next episode, he's going back to full-on beard again. I think this is just a product of the animation not having time or money for consistency. Also, what I said before about the 3 times arc thing. 3 times. Looks like they're going to encounter him again. Maybe rescue him, although the end of that makes it seem like he's going to kill himself, like throw himself over a cliff to make sure that they don't capture him again and can't use him against the kids. I don't know. The show goes so crazy sometimes about when someone's going to die, when they get rescued, or when they do a heroic sacrifice that I can't tell if Professor Go is actually ever going to come back, other than what I think the end credits express, where it looks like Kenichi is running towards his father. So I just anticipate, based on the end credits, that that's true. But it's not like I can't say that I've never been lied to by the opening or end credits of a show, because they do that too. But yeah, no, what I was saying about the Beast Fighter this episode, it was clearly the best design. It just didn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they could have made sense about it. Like, based their machinery around the idea of an amoeba, rather than growing an amoeba into a mechanical machine. Like, it didn't make any sense. But the fact that they showed it working, like some sort of self-healing thing, and in some ways it was better than a T-1000. It should have just, like, exploded and then formed back together. Like, the way they pushed this should have been like a 2-parter. They should have cut into it, and at the very end of the episode, it explodes and re-merges, and then they're like, do one of those, and then the next time, or the credits start playing, and we have to figure out how to defeat it. And then the next episode, we find a volcano. Like, we've seen an island that the Bowaznians have a base on that was part of volcano. Or, again, they've got that little gun thing in their belt. that spews out like napalm or fire or whatever, that should be also effective on this, like temporarily effective. Like we see the things melt, it stops, and then they heals back up. That'd be a good way to keep it down while you're fighting it until you can lure it to a volcano. I don't know. There's always elements where I sometimes think I've, in my head, written a better episode than the episode I watched, but who the hell knows? I'm a guy on the internet. They're a famous animation studio that went on to do more important, better things, so clearly I don't know jack at the end of the day. That said, though, I think that's basically everything. Because this was mostly that fight and the element of Professor Go, and I basically covered both things at the start of the episode. So I think for now, that's basically going to be it. So once again, I've been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?